Hi guys, Donny Whispers, and I'd just like to start out by apologising for my last video. I don't have a proper tripod. I've just got a monopod sort of wedged down the side of my bed, so I didn't notice how crooked the last video was until I looked over it a few days afterwards, and I'm sorry about that. So I've made a bit more of an effort to keep it upright this time. But yeah, following on from last week, I have a few books that I've had since I was a child. They are Edward Lear's Little Books of Nonsense. And I have the Quangle Wangle's Hat and the Jumblies. And Edward Lear is also the person who wrote The Owl and the Pussycat. And he did also write this one, The Pobble Who Has No Toes. But the rhyming structure is very weird, and as I was practicing I couldn't quite get around it, so I'm not going to be reading it today. I'm just going to be reading the first two. So I'm going to start with the Quangle Wangle's Hat. There are pictures in these books, but it makes it a little awkward for me to show you unless I sort of sit to the side here. Yeah, I'll try that. Okay, so on top of the crumpety tree the Quangle Wangle sat, but his face you could not see on account of his beaver hat. For his hat was 102 feet wide, with ribbons and bibbons on every side, and bells and buttons and loops and lace, so that nobody ever could see the face of the Quangle Wangle Quee. The Quangle Wangle said to himself on the crumpety tree, "Jam and jelly and bread are the best of foods for me. But the longer I live on this crumpety tree, the plainer than ever it seems to me that very few people come this way, and that life on the whole is far from gay," said the Quangle Wangle Quee. But there came to the crumpety tree Mr. and Mrs. Canary, and they said, "Did you ever see a spot so charmingly airy? May we build a nest on your lovely hat? Mr. Quangle Wangle, grant us that. Oh, please let us come and build a nest of whatever material suits you best, Mr. Quangle Wangle Quee." And besides to the crumpety tree came the stork, the duck and the owl, the snail and the bumblebee, the frog and the fimble fowl. The fimble fowl with the corkscrew leg, and all of them said, "We humbly beg, may we build our homes on your lovely hat, Mr. Quangle Wangle, grant us that, Mr. Quangle Wangle Quee." And the golden grouse came there, and the pobble who has no toes, and the small Olympian bear, and the dong with a luminous nose. And the blue baboon who played the flute, and the orient calf from the land of Toot, and the attery squash and the bisky bat, all came and built on the lovely hat of the Quangle Wangle Quee. And the Quangle Wangle said to himself on the crumpety tree, "When all of these creatures move, what a wonderful noise there'll be." And at night, by the light of the mulberry moon, they danced to the flute of the blue baboon, on the broad green leaves of the crumpety tree, and all were as happy could be, with the Quangle Wangle Quee. And I'm going to move straight on and start reading the Jumblies. There we go. They were... Sorry. They went to sea in a sieve, they did, in a sieve they went to sea, in spite of all their friends could say, on a winter's morn, on a stormy day, in a sieve they went to sea. And when the sieve turned round, and everyone cried, "You'll all be drowned," they called aloud, "Our sieve ain't big, but we don't care a button, we don't care a fig, in a sieve we'll go to sea." Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live, their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. They sailed away in a sieve, they did, in a sieve they sailed so fast, with only a beautiful pea-green veil tied with a riband by way of a sail to a small tobacco pipe mast. And everyone said who saw them go, "Oh, won't they be soon upset, you know, for the sky is dark and the voyage is long, and happen what may, it's extremely wrong in a sieve to sail so fast. Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve." The water it soon came in, it did, the water it soon came in, so to keep them dry they wrapped their feet in a pinky paper all folded neat, and they fastened it down with a pin. And they passed the night in a crockery jar, and each of them said, "How wise we are! Though the sky be dark and the voyage be long, yet we never can think we were rash or wrong, while round in our sieve we spin. Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve." And all night long they sailed away, and when the sun went down, they whistled and warbled a moonly song to the echoing sound of a coppery gong in the shade of the mountains brown. "O Timballo, how happy we are when we live in a sieve and a crockery jar, and all night long in the moonlight pale we sail away with a pea-green sail in the shade of the mountains brown. Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green, their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve." They sailed to the western sea, they did, to a land all covered with trees, and they bought an owl and a useful cart, and a pound of rice and a cranberry tart, and a hive of silvery bees. And they bought a pig and some green jackdaws, and a lovely monkey with lollipop paws, and 40 bottles of Ringo Boe, and no end of Stilton cheese. Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. And in 20 years they all came back, in 20 years or more, and everyone said how tall they've grown, for they've been to the lakes and the Torrible Zone and the hills of Chankly Bore. And they drank their health and gave them a feast of dumplings made of beautiful yeast, and everyone said, if we only live, we too will go to sea in a sieve to the hills of Chankly Bore. Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. So I think that's all I'm going to read today, and I am sorry if you've been hearing a lot of traffic in the background. I'm actually filming this in the middle of the day, so it's quite busy outside, but there's not really anywhere else in the house that I can film without being interrupted. We have 3 dogs, so it's quite difficult finding somewhere quiet for enough time to film one of these. But I will be filming another one next week. I'll try and find another nice book to read out, unless anyone has any requests, and I'll get that done as well. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye bye.